Alright, gang, it's Willie Rebuild, baby. We back with another one. Yes, sir. Over here on the dunk again. That's right. Got my transmission fluid. Got my engine oil. Uh, Went and picked up my mass airflow sensor and installed it, as you can see. And I got just about everything under here buttoned up, gang. Just like I told y'all in the last video. Power steering lines hooked up, radiator lines hooked up, hoses hooked up, transmission lines hooked up. I went ahead and added in my other heater cool line, put my clamps on that, but I pulled the intake off. With the rebuild, why you did that? It looked pretty. You had everything together and ready to go. Well, the reason I pulled my intake off is because I gotta have some vacuum going from my intake to my brake booster. And also, I need some vacuum to go to my vacuum line back here in the back for my AC, for my vents. So from the factory, the Camaro, let me turn this fan off because it ain't hot. It ain't that hot today. It just finished raining. But from the factory, a lot of these Camaros, or most of them anyway, I think all of them, on the back of your intake, they have this little block in the intake. Now, like I told y'all before, GM is a creature of habit, which means it could be an engine or a car designed 20 years prior, and they'll use some of the same parts on that car on a newer car because that's how they save money. So as you can see, this 6.0 back here, it had hydro boost, so it didn't need the vacuum line that go into the brake booster. It didn't need that because it had the hydro boost. So the Camaro intake, 2019 Camaro, it had the same type of plug in the back too. So I say, I wonder if those plugs are the same. And when I looked at them, they looked the same. So I took the plug out of that engine back there and stuck the plug in there, and the plug fit. So I see, I got action, gang. So I went to the junkyard, got me a hose. Don't be afraid to go to the junkyard and get you a hose or whatever you need to get the job done. And pushed it in there, and it locked right in. And now I got vacuum coming from my intake to go to my booster. Now this is an important trick right here I'm showing y'all. Cause when you go on YouTube, a lot of guys, what they was doing was they was removing this and then drilling and tapping the intake. You don't have to do that. That plug in the back is the same plug on your Gen 3 motors and your Gen 4 motors. And if you pull that plug out of there, it'll snap right into this one. And there you go. But now I need me another port to get my vacuum for my AC line. So what I'll do is I'll cut this right here, buy me a T off of this, and hit my vacuum line for my vents. That's a trick and tip with the rebuild soldiers, help you out. You ain't gotta drill no hole in your intake. It's already there for you. So that's why I pulled the intake off. But other than that, I'm about to go ahead and get the intake back on the car. Since I done put that in, I'm about to get my intake back on the car. And we're gonna go ahead and put the engine oil in it. And we about to get some fire in the hole on this sucker here real soon, gang. That's right. We got our drive shaft in there. As you can see, I done plugged in all my spark plug wires, and I put those boots on them because some of them are tight on those headers. So I just ran the boots all the way through because they was long. I would have rather used the shorter ones, but it ain't gonna hurt nothing. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. If anything, it'll help it, keep the heat off them. But also, another thing I did, and that's what I just forgot to do, gang, because I just come from the junkyard picking up that hose. I forgot to get a plug so I can plug into the AC compressor. The green and white wire, the original wire that was going to the compressor, this wire right here, the black wire, I ran a ground. From that, I could have grounded right here on the compressor, but to make it look neat and factory, I ran one to the back of the motor, and I'm gonna put the plug on here and plug it up. I already test the voltage to make sure everything doing what it need to do, and it is, so that's good. So we gonna go ahead and put our engine oil in. Another trick I got for y'all, another important tip. In these newer transmissions, a lot of them have torque converter failure. Life with Ike, I got a trick for you right here, my boy. A lot of those newer transmissions, they have torque converter failure. This the transmission fluid you want to use in it, that low viscosity. That's what you want to put in there right there. Same thing I got in my truck out there, same transmission fluid. That helps out, helps the torque convert out, help the transmission, because those transmissions, they don't communicate real well with the engine and transmission. They don't communicate well. That's why they burn up. That's why it's not a real good idea to want to use those. Hopefully we won't have problems with this one because we got a good aftermarket convert in it. But I'm getting ready to set y'all up on a tripod so I can start pumping the transmission. And it's not gonna take all of it. It might only take like cause this jug here, I get this from the transmission shop, where the transmission shops get their parts from. I get this from over there. So this not your average transmission fluid. This 2.5 gallons. So that's like 9 quarts. And this transmission take around 11 quarts. So I'm gonna set y'all up on a tripod. It should take most of that. I just want some transmission fluid in it. So when I bring it over to the tuner, when he start it up, it won't be running dry. So I'm gonna put the transmission fluid in a D. I'm gonna put the engine oil in a D. And the radiator, I'm gonna fill the radiator up with water for now. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. The keyboard warriors that's gonna say, oh, this and that, don't worry about it. I'm gonna drain it back out of there. Got a nice drain screw right there on my radiator. I'll drain it back out and then add some straight Dex-Cool into the water. But for right now, I'm putting water in it. So let me get y'all set up, gang. Let me jack the car up and we gonna start pumping this transmission fluid in here. Yes, sir. All right, gang. Let me go ahead and see if I can get y'all set up. Yeah, that look like a good spot to let y'all sit right here, gang. Right here on the side, in the midst of all the action. All right. So, I got my pump set up in the transmission right here on the 6-speed, 8-speed transmissions. On the 8-speed that come in the Camaro, they don't have a dipstick. So they only have this little plug right here. You probably can add a dipstick, so that's why I'm pumping it in. So I'm gonna go ahead and pump this transmission fluid in, gang. It should take about 7.5 quarts because the car ain't running. So I should be able to pump about 7.5 quarts in it before it start running back out through the dipstick hole. If I could pump a little bit more in there, that's fine too. Because the more I get in there, the better it is when I get by the tuner and he crank it up. Hopefully I'll be able to pull it back up on the trailer. If not, we got a winch on the trailer, so it ain't no big deal. But I'm just trying to get transmission fluid in it so that the trans is not starting up dry and damage anything. See, that bottle almost empty, gang. That's good. So if I can get that in there, that's good right there. That's more than 7.5 quarts. All right, I see the trans fluid coming up to the top now. So that bottle almost empty. Let me grab my drip pan because I'm gonna fill it up all the way to the top, gang. So let me grab my little catch pan. Let me grab that catch pan, baby. Right down to the transmission so I don't make a mess and have transmission fluid all over under the car. But we just about full because I seen some like it was coming up to the top. Let's see. I'm gonna pump it till it run out. Yeah, it looked like it's about to start running out. Yep. So it's full right there. Not all the way full, but it took much as it's gonna take without the car running. And in case y'all wondering why I ain't start the car up, cause this shit gotta be tuned. Look at that, making a mess. This gotta be tuned just to crank the car. So that's why I ain't crank it up. Here go the plug. I'm finna put that back in, and then I'm gonna take some brake clean and clean the transmission off, so it's not smoking, wasting on the exhaust when I go to the tune. So that just sealed it up. And let me take my rag, wipe a little with that. Now let me get some brake clean so I can spray it off and get that fluid off of that. Got the brake clean right here. That's good enough right there. Let me take y'all off the tripod so I can give y'all a closer look at some things. Take y'all off the tripod right quick, gang. Let's see. So as y'all can see, back there on my tail shaft, that's where I modified the transmission and put the two-wheel drive tail shaft on. See if I can get y'all a better look. But that's it right there, where I modified, put the two-wheel drive tail shaft on. That's a two-wheel drive slip yoke. Then I sent the drive shaft off to the drive shaft shop, and they built me a custom drive shaft just for this car. And like I was showing y'all in the last video, y'all can get a better view of it now. But that's the original style piece back there on the back of the drive shaft. That's not the original one, that's an aftermarket one. So you can put the locking mechanism, your clips in there to lock your universal joints, and then they welded that piece onto the new shaft and balanced it. So all that's new. Also, let me turn my light back around. I went ahead and added the extensions to the header, and also put the O2 sensors in both sides. As you can see, that side, the downpipe is in, and the O2 sensor. Now off camera, I'm gonna tighten up these bolts on the cross member, because as you can see, those bolts are not tight. So I jacked the transmission up just a little bit, lock the bolts down. A couple of them I gotta put washers on them. There's only like 2 or 3 of them I need to put washers on. They're in the box. They was in between like the corners of the box, so I got those. I'm gonna put those washers where they need to be installed, and then lock the cross member down for good, lock the transmission down. Let me get out from under the car so I can show y'all what's going on, and also show the customer what's going on. So right here on my mass airflow sensor, you can see how it's coming over the alternator. I don't really like that look. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add an extension on this mass airflow. I'm gonna bring it around the back of the alternator and down and under. I'm gonna turn this down so you can't see this wire. I went ahead and added the oil in it off camera. This the factory dipstick, and as you can see, you see the oil on the dipstick, so that's good. I had to modify the tube to get it to work. Everything like it should be. What else we got, gang? What else I was finna tell y'all? Cause we ready to put fire in the hole on this dump. Shit, I think that's about it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the tuner to put a tune in it. Then once he get the tune in it and I can drive the car, you know, move it, I'm gonna bring it to the exhaust shop. Once I get the exhaust put on, then I'm gonna go and get these hoses made for the AC compressor, and I need to get another piece so I can modify this, because this car, the dryer was made onto the AC. So what I'm gonna do, the dryer was made to it was hooked to the condenser. So I try to do that. This piece here is too short. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get another piece of AC line, put it into here. I might get it welded. I might get like 2 pieces of aluminum, put one in the inside, and get the radiator shop to weld them both together so I can install this. And then on this bottom bolt right here on the radiator where the fan bolt in, I'll hook a I'll make a bracket to keep this like that and then get the lines made. So that's my plan for the AC. I got the other line down here on the floor. I'm gonna take that one with me and get it shortened. Get them to make me one shorter. I got that one marked. That's why this piece of tape on this line, because I can let him know how long I need the line and what two fittings I need on the ends. Once I do that, everything should be good. I need to cap off this steam port line on the radiator because these LTs, they don't have a steam port line. So I'm gonna do that. This for my overflow. Everything else hooked up, gang. We ready to put fire in the hole on this motherfucker. Yes, sir. That's about it for the dump. The stroker, the converter just came in today. Converter came in today. The reason I haven't finished installing the motor because I'm waiting on the lifters to come in, and I'm gonna go pick some trays up. I got the head gaskets, I got the head bolts. I forgot I didn't have the lifters. So next week sometime we're gonna be putting the engine in the box Chevy, and we about to empty out the shop, gang. So for any of the viewers and subscribers that's watching, now is the time for you to get on the list. This one, I'm gonna bring it to the tuner tomorrow. Let him adjust the tune. I might put it on a trailer cold, winch it up on a trailer, or either I might come here early in the morning tomorrow and put it outside, let it cool off, because it'll get a little warm from me moving it around to get it out of here. So I might back it up out there, put it on a trailer, and bring it to the tuner while it's cold so he can do what he need to do so the Monte Carlo can go home, gang. The Monte Carlo been here too long. I like the Monte Carlo, but it's time for it to go, gang. So tomorrow I should have that tune figured out, and then I'm gonna set up the date for next week to get this one on the dyno. No, not on the dyno, get it to the tuner so we can crank it up, because I got everything wired up in the dump and she ready to go, gang. Let me turn this fan off. You hear the buzzer going. I done tucked the transmission module in. If you listen good, you hear the fuel pump coming on. Everything on the decoder is installed and hooked up. As you can see, everything on the decoder is hooked up. Y'all, next video on the dunk should be the dunk getting tuned. I'm gonna call the customer tonight, let him know about the exhaust and the tune, and y'all, next video we should have the dunk running. Once we get it running, I'll make y'all another video. This is gonna be an important video concerning your cooling system, your fans, when you're running AC. This is a video you're not gonna wanna miss. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's Willie Rebuild, gang. Over and out. Yes, sir.